Some encounters don't start with danger. They start with something that feels off. A woman whose hair is pulled by something no one can see, and voices echoing through the forest, sounding human, but not quite right. These moments don't give you time to understand, only time to react. And by the time you realize something is wrong, it might already be too late. So if it happened to you, would you stay or get out? In the fall of 2020, Lauren began noticing unusual things happening around her home. Things she couldn't explain. She often spent time near the trees in her backyard, but one in particular stood out to her. It looked different from the others, lifeless yet strangely beautiful, with red leaves growing beside it. When she took a closer look, she noticed odd objects embedded in the bark and several holes in its trunk.
So I have a bunch of trees in my backyard, but there's this one that doesn't look like the other trees. So I'm gonna go check that one out because it has pretty red leaves or flowers next to it, and it's interesting. Here's the tree. It's dead, but it's very pretty. And there's these weird things that are in it. I don't know what that's for. And it has crazy holes that I like. But here's the pretty red things. Flowers. No, they're leaves. Those are leaves. Oh, I like you. What is that?
Although she didn't understand what they were, she dismissed it as something harmless. For nearly a year, nothing else happened. Then, in 2021, things took a darker turn.
So, I'm walking around the fence line of my property, and I've noticed someone or something has put something on pretty much all of my fence posts. I don't know if someone's like fucking with me or that this is something else, but like it's literally all like bones or like a creepy doll. I don't know what that was.
While checking the fence line around her property, Lauren found strange objects attached to nearly every post. Some appeared to be small bones, while others looked like pieces of dolls. Whether it was a prank or something more disturbing, she couldn't tell. Soon after, the activity escalated. She began hearing noises outside her home, but whenever she checked, no one was there.
But I'm not sorry that I couldn't find something. 19 minutes!
Luna, come on.
As she turned to go back inside, something unexplainable happened, and it didn't stop there. Later that day, footage from her security camera showed her hair being pulled sharply upward by an unseen force. A few nights later, while talking to her boyfriend, more disturbances occurred. Doors slammed shut on their own and locked unexpectedly, leaving her briefly trapped outside.
Dude, my fucking door just closed. Yes, and it's locked. I just got locked out of my house. Yes, nobody's here.
That's kind of scary. Where's the door?
Luna! Luna's inside by herself. I don't even see her in there. Hang on.
Don't do anything rash. Baby? Hello? Oh, fuck, she's nudged us.
Luna!
Two months passed without further incidents, until one night loud knocking started at her window.
Luna, come here. Sit. Come here. Fuck. Hang on. Can't see. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Can't see anything.
Frightened, she tried to look outside, but the darkness revealed nothing. The knocking grew louder, followed by silence. When she checked the yard, no one was there. Whatever was behind these events has never been identified. After that night, Lauren stopped posting altogether. A TikToker recently described a deeply unsettling night she experienced while camping alone in her tent. According to her post, she was suddenly awakened around 3:44 a.m. by what sounded like extremely loud music echoing through the forest, not the kind of noise you would expect in the wilderness.
I am so exhausted because I had the weirdest experience of my life last night. While sleeping in my tent, I woke up at 3:44 to some extremely loud music playing in the middle of the forest, like new age, XXYY with ZZ, I don't know how to say it, spiritual type stuff. And it was so loud. It was like a religious stadium had music playing at 3:44 in the morning or something. I don't know how to explain it. It went on for hours. And it freaked me the F out. I seriously was like, did I die? Like, what's going on? Don't go too far.
The sound was unlike anything she had heard before, filled with chanting and rhythmic tones that felt almost ritualistic. It reminded her of a large gathering, as if some kind of ceremony or festival was taking place deep within the trees. The music continued for hours, becoming more unnerving with each passing minute. She described feeling disoriented and terrified, questioning whether something supernatural was happening or if she had somehow ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. By morning, the sounds had disappeared without explanation, leaving behind only silence and confusion. For her, it became one of the strangest and most disturbing experiences she had ever faced. What would you do if you woke up to that kind of sound in the middle of the woods? The TikTok page Trail Tracker TV is best known for featuring breathtaking views of mountain landscapes and peaceful hiking trails. But one particular upload drew attention for a much darker reason. In this video, the creator, who often hikes alone, claimed to have recorded the footage while exploring deep in the Appalachian Mountains. The clip begins like any other, showing the forest around him. But moments later, a chilling voice can be heard echoing through the trees. The sound seems to be someone calling out for help. The tone, both desperate and distorted human, yet somehow not quite right. Longtime locals often share a warning about these mountains. If the voices sound close, they're far away. But if they sound distant, they're near. The video offers no clear explanation for the source of the cries. They seem to come from somewhere deep within the forest, or perhaps much closer than anyone would want to believe. These hunters were positioned high in a tree stand when something terrifying shattered the stillness of the forest. Without warning, a blood-curdling scream ripped through the air, raw, guttural, and unlike anything they had ever heard before. At first, it sounded disturbingly human, like a woman crying out in agony, struggling to breathe as if in her final moments. But beneath that scream was something else, a low, rumbling growl that seemed to come from deep within the woods. The combination of the two sounds, one painfully human, the other clearly animalistic, left the hunters frozen in fear. Whatever was making that noise, it didn't match any creature they recognized. And up there in the trees, with the echo still carrying through the forest, they could only listen and hope it wasn't getting closer. It was a bright afternoon at Lake Sis-la-do-Bices, a quiet and secluded area deep in rural Maine. Sue and a friend had been driving around for hours, laughing, talking, and recording their day for fun. Everything seemed ordinary until later.
The same diseases, you know, and you fuck.
That's fucking great, dude.
And,
While reviewing the footage after uploading it to YouTube, viewers noticed something the pair had completely missed at the time. In the distance, a strange humanoid figure could be seen moving along the tree line. The sighting was brief, just a quick glimpse, but enough to unsettle many who watched the video. The figure's shape and movement didn't appear to match any known animal. Some suggested it could have been a person, while others believed it might be something far more unusual. Because the clip was so short and distant, no one has been able to say for certain what they captured that day at Lake Sis-la-do-Bices. This camper was hiking through the Appalachian Mountains when he noticed something unusual inside an old hollow tree. As he zoomed in with his camera, he was shocked by what he saw. Something unsettling was hidden within the trunk. For a brief moment, he caught a glimpse of long, twisted hands and glimmering eyes staring back at him before disappearing into the darkness. When exploring the Appalachian Mountains, locals say there are certain rules you should never ignore. One of them warns, never fix your gaze on a single spot for too long, because you might start to notice something you wish you hadn't. The person who recorded this video ignored that rule and ended up capturing something unusual on camera. While walking a familiar path, he noticed what looked like a head-shaped figure among the trees. It hadn't been there before, and it didn't resemble any tree stump or fallen branch. He had walked this trail many times, but this was new, and it didn't seem connected to anything around it. Fortunately, nothing happened to him afterward. Still, the brief glimpse he recorded remains deeply unsettling. This small town, located near the Appalachian Trail, has long been surrounded by unsettling stories, from unexplained deaths to strange paranormal events. One family decided to camp in the nearby mountains, believing it would be the perfect getaway for their children to play and explore. But their peaceful trip quickly turned into something far more disturbing. As the father recorded his kids enjoying the outdoors, they suddenly ran back toward him in fear. Confused, he aimed his camera toward the trees, and that's when he noticed it. Through the lens, a large, shadowy figure could be seen moving silently among the trees, its form barely visible, but clearly massive. This video, recorded by a woman named Katie while staying at a lodge, is deeply unsettling. In the clip, a man can be seen standing outside, silently staring through her window. Katie soon realized he was the same individual she had noticed earlier that day. Unsure how to respond, she contacted the police. Officers arrived quickly and spoke with the man who claimed he was a guest staying in a nearby cabin. After assessing the situation, they determined he wasn't committing any crime and left. However, the man remained outside, continuing to watch Katie's lodge. Feeling uneasy, she and her companion decided to stay inside for the rest of the night. The following morning, they contacted the police again to gather more information. Authorities revealed that the man had told them he suffered from schizophrenia. The revelation raised an unsettling question. What might have happened if she hadn't called for help? Interestingly, when officers were present, his behavior changed completely, as if he was fully aware of his actions. A group of teenagers set out for a weekend trip in the forest. They parked their van, got settled, and were enjoying the quiet surroundings when movement among the trees caught their attention.
It's like, yo, you see that? Yo, fellas. Yo, what? Yo, look. Holy shit. Look over there, dude. Yo, look over there. Dude, what? Yo, what's it? Yo! See that? Is that it? Hello? Yo, you see that, dude? Look. Yo, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Yo, go. Get the fuck out.
Moments later, a dark, furry figure appeared, walking upright before suddenly dropping to all fours and rushing toward them. Panic broke out instantly as the group scrambled to get away, with one of them managing to capture the chaotic moment on camera. The footage shows a creature that appears unsettlingly human, yet clearly wild. Whatever it was, the encounter left them terrified, an experience none of them would ever forget. On October 14, 2025, a hunter placed a trail camera while scouting near Nordegg, Alberta, and came across a large structure made of branches. Hours later, the camera captured a shocking image, followed by video footage. Some believe the structure was natural, or built by a person, while others question what may have triggered the camera. So, what built it and what returned after dark? In October 2023, a hunter went camping alone, expecting a quiet night in nature. The stillness didn't last long, as sudden sounds broke the silence and shifted the mood. Some believe it was an animal, but how close was whatever made the noise? And was it really gone? "12 years ago, on January 15, 2013, a hunter was deep in a snowy forest searching for game when eerie, unfamiliar sounds echoed through the trees.
Oh, where you come from? We're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, all around us.
Well, call me nuts, but I reckon that came from up there. But, well, unless the trees backed it down and... Oh, it's cold. Unless the trees made it echo, I don't know. I've never heard a sound like that before.
I don't know.
Well, it did have an element of eerie, isn't it? Yeah.
The noise seemed to come from every direction, unlike anything he had heard before, leaving him clearly unsettled. Some believe it was natural acoustics, while others remain uncertain. If it wasn't the forest itself, then what was making that sound out there? Around 2 years ago, a hunter in his local forest suddenly encountered something unexpected that could have ended much worse. Relying on fast, instinctive reactions, he managed to get out of the situation without even using his weapon. Some see this as instinct taking over, but when danger strikes, is survival really about training or just raw instinct? In the early morning, a bird hunt with friends took a dangerous turn when a hunter was hit by stray pellets and knocked to the ground.
Right in that... Is he running? He's in that tree line there, right around there. Ouch! God damn it! Ouch! Who's at me? God, knocked me over. You guys got watch where you're shooting.
He later made a full recovery. It raises one question. How quickly can a routine hunt become dangerous when mistakes happen? During an evening walk in Jehannama Forest, a woman noticed a man who had been lingering in the area for months suddenly begin following her. Each time she changed direction, he mirrored her movements before sitting nearby and acting in a disturbing way. When confronted, the man ran off, and although authorities searched the area, he was never found. This raises questions about whether he had been observing visitors over time. Do you think he will return, or was this a one-time encounter? Two hikers moved along a quiet road beneath leafless trees, the morning light casting uneasy shadows across the ground.
Later. Yeah, it's an infinite domain. No. And there's a load of different documents. Looking on, I'll show a picture when we're in the car.
It's getting closer.
So?
It's getting closer.
Yeah.
When they looked back, the darkness behind them felt heavy at first, then gradually began to brighten, as if the light itself was shifting, or being altered around them.
What does that make creaking noise? Yeah. Oh, just a...
No, robi się jasno.
What? Oh, Star Wars. Where do we go?
This change may have been caused by natural lighting or perspective. Do you think it was simply an illusion, or something unseen influencing the scene? Mason is a professional climber who uses his channel to document extreme ascents, often scaling massive buildings to raise money for women facing crisis pregnancies. No matter how skilled someone may be, climbs like these are always extremely dangerous, where a single small mistake can mean the end. This time, Mason focused on the Chase Tower in Phoenix, but unlike his previous climbs, this one did not go smoothly. The video begins with him saying goodbye to his friends, and then without hesitation he starts the ascent using only his bare hands. There are no ropes, no harness, no safety equipment at all. Just him, the building, and one misstep separating life from death.
I hate chimneys. I hate stimming. Oh my gosh. Wish this was more like everything else, but we'll make do. It's really physical.
As he climbs higher and higher, he occasionally looks down at the emergency vehicles far below when the moment is suddenly interrupted.
Hey guys, I'm all good. I'll meet you at the top. If you pop this out, you can knock me off. No, you'll knock me off. Don't do that.
Okay, what's your first name, man?
Mason.
Mason.
Yeah.
We're gonna stop you before you can get to the top. I know what you're trying to do. You want to make your message, but we're not gonna let you go all the way up to the top.
Why? But I'm worried you guys are gonna pop these off and then you're gonna knock me off.
We're getting above you, and we're gonna knock off the one that's closest above you.
Well, I'm telling you, if it comes down and hits me, I'm gonna die. I can easily get to the top. This is nothing.
No.
I'm a professional climber.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, okay.
Doing right now is you're putting our lives at risk, and you're putting your lives at risk. I'm okay with the message and the attention you're trying to grab, Mason. I get it. We've done this before.
I know, but I'm saying it's way safer to just meet me at the top. I'll do whatever you guys say, but it's way safer. Trust me.
For several tense moments, it seemed that the firefighters responding to the scene might make a serious mistake. One wrong move could have thrown Mason off balance and caused him to fall. He tried to reason with them, making it clear he did not intend to die that day. After several minutes of back and forth, the firefighters eventually agreed to let him continue to the top, but only under strict conditions.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes, sir.
We want to talk to you the whole way going up so we know you're okay and don't need to be rescued. How many floors you plan on climbing from here?
To the top. I can stop at each one like I've been.
We go every 2 floors and you talk to me for a few minutes. How's that?
That works for me, man.
All right, my name is Mike.
All right, thank you, Mike. Sorry for putting you at risk. That's not the goal here.
Promise me you're going to stop at every 2 floors, have a conversation with me so you know we're good, and you want to go all the way to the top, correct?
Yes, I think that's safer.
Okay.
He continued climbing, and even watching the footage is enough to make your stomach drop, as every movement feels like it could be the last.
Hey, Mason.
Yes, sir.
Come on over here, buddy.
Yes, sir. Hold on. Stretch real quick.
Yeah, do your thing, man. Yeah. Are you okay? You all right?
Yeah.
All right, over here.
That was a little physical.
What I'm going to do, shut us down. I want you to freaking out here. Yeah, we're going to hand you up to these guys here.
Okay. Stand up or?
No, sit down. No, you're good. You're good. You okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
You're under arrest. Trust us.
In the end, he successfully reached the top where several firefighters were waiting for him, and surprisingly, the tension gave way to laughter. Situations like this raise questions about how much risk is worth taking for a message. Do you think the danger was necessary, or did it push things too far? Night settled over the campsite as campers gathered around a crackling fire shadows dancing across the trees.
Hear that? Get Trevor. Austin, get the light. Fuck. Hey! That was not an elk.
From the darkness came strange sounds with rustling movements and unfamiliar calls drawing closer, unsettling everyone sitting by the flames.
Get my keys. Oh, get ready.
This may have been wildlife moving near the camp. Do you think it was normal animal behavior or something more unusual hidden in the forest? Morning light filtered through the dense forest as a hiker moved cautiously, the air filled with bird calls and the sound of leaves shifting. Without warning, a large dark shape appeared, briefly chasing him before disappearing into the trees, leaving the hiker shaken and struggling to catch his breath. Bigfoot or something else entirely. This encounter may have been caused by a large animal reacting defensively. Do you think it was a known creature or something still unexplained? Night settled over the Red House, known as one of the most haunted places in the Philippines, as a group of YouTubers entered with their cameras recording.
Oh my God. Whoa.
Hindi source ng
Pre. Pre, imposible yan kasi tumutunog din yung deadbell.
Hindi kasi kung source ng electricity, dapat ano yan, static lang siya sa isang ilaw.
Nagsasabay sila, men. Ito ba yung CR na may pinaslang at ginahasang babae?
Ooh.
The building was quiet and dark, adding weight to every step they took through the rooms. As they started asking questions, a bell suddenly began ringing on its own, over and over again. The sound echoed through the empty hall, sending chills through the group, as if something unseen was reacting and listening from the shadows.
Grabe. Oh my God. Kaya pala tunog na tunog dito yung REM pad. Pero kaya siya tunog na tunog. Tignan mo, sobrang tahimik na, oh. Men. Pero parang ayaw niya ng bitiwan. Kasi imagine, pati yung, yung EMF.
Ayun, bukol ng malakas.
This could have been caused by environmental factors or hidden mechanisms inside the house. Do you think the bell was triggered naturally, or was something else trying to get their attention? This clip was recorded in 2015 and later uploaded to a YouTube channel called Leviathan. The channel features videos that may appear random, but they all share a subtle sense of the unknown that runs through each recording. The footage was captured in the Modrava forest in the Czech Republic. There are no widely known legends or well-known mysterious stories connected to this forest. Even so many people describe the area as having a strange, almost mystical atmosphere that feels difficult to explain. The video ends abruptly, with the person filming suddenly running out of the forest. Even with the limited footage, several details stand out. The sounds do not seem to come from any ordinary animal, or at least not one native to the region. Large primates or gorilla-like creatures do not exist in Europe, which makes the situation even more difficult to explain. In addition, the camera captures unusually large footprints. Some appear old, while others seem fresh, and at first glance they look real. This detail makes the situation more complex and deeply unsettling, because if a creature capable of leaving those tracks were nearby, a person alone would have little chance. The comments provide no clear explanation for the sounds, leaving the question open about what could have produced them. Night settled over the forest shadows, stretching between twisted trees, as the air grew heavy with tension and the unknown. Suddenly, screams cut through the darkness.
Hey, I wouldn't go too close. Might be, sounds like a fox, maybe.
stopping only after a deep, heavy impact that sounded like something massive, slamming onto the forest floor, leaving an uneasy silence behind.
What the fuck? Okay, time to back up. That was loud. Back inside. That was a very heavy thud. That was something big, whatever it was.
The sound suggested something large had fallen or been taken down in the dark. Do you think it was a natural event or something more dangerous moving nearby?
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.